Did you know that Andrew Huberman and his lab worked with Wim Hof to research the science behind his method and its potential applications for treatment and general well-being?
The science of what Wim Hof Method does is one of the primary interests of my lab now because it is so powerful and it's been shown to be powerful in the immune system.
In this video, I'll share insights from the Huberman Lab podcast that have deepened my Wim Hof Method breathwork practice and how you can use certain principles to elevate this powerful practice to improve every area of your life. I learned about the science behind this method and what was happening in the body while doing the deep hyperventilation breathing and the breath holds. But it was through Andrew Huberman and his podcast that I learned about the connection between breathing and our autonomic nervous system itself that wasn't bound to a specific method, which broadened my perspective by so many factors. To use this knowledge to your advantage, it's important to first understand how breathing is connected to our autonomic nervous system. Among other things, our autonomic nervous system governs the underlying mechanism of how energetic we feel throughout the day. We don't exist in a vacuum. We constantly get bombarded with external stimuli from the world around us. And our autonomic nervous system helps us to survive in this world. For example, suppose we face a dangerous situation. A branch of our autonomic nervous system called the sympathetic nervous system is activated to gear our body and mind for action. In that case, it causes a fight and flight stress response. Other situations, like when we sleep, rest, or have eaten a big meal, engage the other branch of our autonomic nervous system called the parasympathetic nervous system, our rest and recovery mode. And our breathing is neurologically connected to the autonomic nervous system. So our respiration rate increases when we get stressed or angry. And I think we all know that intuitively. The same is true when we are relaxed or are sleeping. Our respiration rate then decreases. But we all have gateways to consciously influence our autonomic nervous system. It's not just something happening to us. And those gateways are our breathing, eyes, body movement, and mind. So a crucial thing to understand is all the effects the Wim Hof Method breathwork can have on us and our autonomic nervous system is replicable by other practices. And I find that extremely liberating because if breathwork doesn't work for you, for whatever reason, you can achieve the same or very similar results by taking a different route, like taking a cold shower, exercising, etc. But even more so, with this profound knowledge about these gateways to our autonomic nervous system, I can stack the deck to my advantage. For example, if I want to increase my alertness to be more productive, for example, I can combine deep, fast-paced breathing from the Wim Hof Method with focusing my vision on a single point. In his episodes about vision, Andrew Huberman explained how focusing our sight on a single point affects our nervous system and enables us to become more alert, much like deep and fast in breathing. The same thing happens the other way around. When I use a peripheral vision, where I consciously dilute my vision and combine it with slow breathing or the breath hold part from the Wim Hof Method breathwork. This way I'm stacking my deck with layers on how I can calm down or how I get more alert. This is just a small example of how a more systemic perspective enables me to combine things to increase the effect. So taking the lessons from Andrew Huberman, I'm also able to look at the Wim Hof Method breathwork in a more nuanced way. In the Wim Hof Method, the breathwork remains pretty rigid, with the 30 to 40 deep and fast inhales, breath holds on empty lungs, and then the recovery breaths. Sure, you can adjust the intensity, tone, and the number of rounds, but the package remains pretty much the same. But we can actually go a step deeper and dissect this into three categories. We have the whole Wim Hof Method practice, we have the activating part, or we have just the calming part. By doing the Wim Hof Method breathwork protocol, we strongly engage both the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system. In a way, it mimics the effect of taking an ice bath, where we get into this very high alert state of mind with hyperventilation like breathing, but calm down after a while, which leaves us in this highly energized yet calm state of mind.
Now, the reason this is so attractive as a tool for controlling stress is that it works in real time.
As a result, it can make us more relaxed when facing challenges throughout the day. In a sense, it's like a reset of our nervous system by engaging both sides of the spectrum to their extremes and making us more resilient to stress. So on one side of the spectrum you have extreme stress, where adrenaline can rise to the level of someone who goes bungee jumping for the first time. And on the other side of the Wim Hof Method breathing practice, you dive into a deep meditative state where heart rate decreases dramatically. A recent study from Andrew Huberman's lab at Stanford showed that different breathwork methods and mindfulness meditation can significantly influence mood and overall respiration rate. I have a video on that one, so be sure to check that out if you're interested. But looking at it from a systemic perspective, you understand that other practices like taking an ice bath, sauna, and a hard workout can have a similar impact on our nervous system and yield similar benefits. So this is the whole practice, but we can also tap into our nervous system with conscious breathing by engaging only the sympathetic or the parasympathetic nervous system. And therefore this will be useful for specific situations where you want to quickly change your mental state. For example, when I feel a little tired while working on something but still need to get the work done, I can do 15 or so fast-paced deep breaths where I focus on the inhale. If I want to calm down and be more relaxed in a specific moment, I could do 2 minutes of something Andrew Huberman calls the physiological sigh or cyclic sighing, where I do 2 short consecutive inhales and a long exhale. The double inhale will maximize the amount of oxygen the alveoli, the little air sacs in our lungs, can take in, and the longer exhale in relation to the inhale will lower our heart rate and calm us down. And by learning that the sinoatrial node in our heart senses pressure from inhales and exhales and regulates it by engaging the sympathetic or parasympathetic nervous system, I finally understood the principles of conscious breathing. So if you focus on the inhales, you will engage the sympathetic nervous system, our fight and flight mode. And by focusing on the exhale, think of a sigh for example, you will engage the parasympathetic nervous system. And this isn't bound to a specific method. That's just how we are built. So paying attention to how we breathe in a specific situation can help to balance things out. Especially in today's culture, where being stressed is sort of a default mode, getting more aware and engaging in slow breathing can be enormously helpful to our mental state and well-being. Also, the recovery aspect of an activity is essential to function and execute well in the long run. Most goals aren't achieved in one sprint, but in multiple consecutive sprints or marathons, where we need to pay attention to our recovery. Andrew Huberman talks about non-sleep deep rest or yoga nidra that he's doing in the afternoon to recharge himself before another intensive working bout. On his series with Andy Galpin, they mentioned the importance of breathwork for any sort of post-workout or between sets of exercises to maximize the effect of your training. And that goes for endurance, strength, or skill-focused workouts. So I personally like to do cyclic sighing in between sets of exercises and sort of a self-modified calm breathing routine right after a workout. So this could also be a slow-paced Wim Hof Method practice where you integrate mindfulness or a body sensing practice into it. Basically something with long exhales and a mindfulness routine that focuses on rest and recovery. And it really makes a difference to me. I can do more work, recover faster, and increase the effectiveness of my training. And the same principle applies to work or learning in general. And most of all, I understand the underlying mechanics of breathing and the nervous system to develop individual breathing strategies for specific situations or challenges in life. If you would like my perspective on the recent study from Andrew Huberman's lab on the effectiveness of breathwork and mindfulness, please check out this video here. Thank you for watching and see you later.